Hi, and welcome back to another episode of The Breakdown with Bethany. I'm Bethany Brown Silva, and I'm actually coming to you from vacation. If you're tuning in on YouTube, you'll see I have a different background than usual, but I'm really excited about today's episode because I got to chat with Ali Fedotowsky-Manno. She's a mom of two. You might know her from The Bachelorette. She's also done some hosting, but she's teaming up with Mrs. T's Pierogies for a really fun family-centered challenge. So Ali and I talked all about that. We also talked about, role reversal at home. Ali is the breadwinner in her home, and I actually need some advice because I am now the breadwinner in my home. My husband just retired and our roles are sort of changing. So I got some great inspiration from Ali on all of that. So tune in and happy spring break. Ali, we're gonna jump into the partnership with Mrs. T's, but I've been watching your Instagram, so loving your like the second child things because it's so true. like like with your boys on the floor. I mean, like, I love it. I love it. Can you talk to me a little bit about not only the difference between, like, you have the first and she's a girl and then
Yeah.
the little boy? Like, tell me all about that dynamic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like every parent of more than one child can relate to, or even a parent with one child, that with the first one, you're just like so nervous about everything and making sure their, room temperature is perfect at night and they have the, perfect sleep sack and all these things are just like, you buy every baby product on the planet. And then the second one comes along and you're just like in survival mode. And the second one for me, at least my son Riley, is just like, so much more go with the flow because he has to had to grow up napping anywhere. He had to grow up, not getting all those like little tiny details that my daughter got. So yeah, the second one, it just they take what they can get. I can't even imagine a third. So the parents
Right.
out there, like moms to 3, 4, 5 kids, whoo, just
I
kind of
know
like
it's it's completely wild, but it's so funny. But I love this partnership. Not only do I'm like a huge Mrs. T's Pierogies fan, but I love what they're doing with the GoFundMe challenge. So definitely tell us all about that.
I will. I am with you. Oh my gosh. The Mrs. T's pierogies are so good. Like, I don't know if people realize how delicious they are. You have to go out and get them. Like the 4 cheese medley, my son is obsessed with. So first, the challenge, which is so exciting that they're doing. And I love that they're doing this. Like the great thing about pierogies, especially like as a busy parent, is that they're really quick, right? You can make them so many different ways, air fry, saute, all of these things. So they wanted to do this challenge, the GoFundMe challenge. It's like GoFundMe to encourage families to just spend more quality time together by making a really quick dinner. So like I make this burrito bowl. I mean, can you see this through there? Like, oh, you can't, you kind of see it. It's so delicious, this burrito bowl. And I take all the ingredients that my son loves, like from a burrito, right? Like the corn and the avocado and the tomato and the cheese in the burrito shell. And instead of making the burrito, I make the little bowl with the Mrs. T's pierogies with the 4 cheese medley and then all the ingredients so that he gets to, try all his favorite foods, but have it in a different way. So maybe it will like help him try different foods in the future. But their GoFundMe challenge is really cool. So what they're doing is encouraging people to make these quick recipes, right? And then you can, just by sort of opting into doing that, going to their site and saying, I am going to commit to spending more quality time with my family, making quick, easy dinners. You're entered to win $1,000 a month for 12 months, which would be so exciting. And with that money, what Mrs. T's is hoping is that people can just go and spend more quality time together, enjoy their time together. So the idea is make a quick, awesome recipe, use that time you save to spend quality time with your family. And if you go to Mrs. T's, you can go to their website, mrstspierogies.com/GoFundMe, and just opt in to taking the challenge and you're entered to win that $1,000 a month for 12 months.
I love that because it is so challenging. I know that you're a busy working mom. I'm a busy working mom, and just finding something quick and nutritious for our kids, and then to balance that with the quality time. And I always, I'm always hesitant to like ask this question because it is such a talked about thing about like balance and work and kids. But is there something that you're able to do that you really lean on to kind of ground you at home when you're with your family, and so you're not distracted with work or anything, any other things. Like, I'll tell you right now, I'm on vacation. I'm in spring break. I'm coming to you from a hotel room and my kids are in the next room. So we're always trying to navigate that balance, right? So what is
Yeah.
it for you?
I think there's no such thing as balance. I mean, truly, I always feel like I'm failing in some area of my life, right? Like if I'm being a really great mom one week, my work suffers. If my, you know, if I, my work is doing great, if my work is doing great, I'm not being necessarily the most present mom, or I'm not taking care of myself. Or one week, maybe I'm exercising every day and taking great care of myself, and my work and my family life is suffering. So I just feel like I never feel like I'm excelling in more than one area of my life. And I think a lot of moms feel that way, a lot of parents, just people in general. So for me, it really is the things like making dinner easier, the Mrs. T's pierogi bowl is under 20 minutes, or order out or go out to eat if you can, like trying to cut time, cut corners, I guess, make things quicker in the daily tasks of life so I can spend more time with my kids or taking care of myself. But I mean, it's just hard. It's hard for all of us.
Yeah.
And even for me, I always tell people like, I am home all day. I work from home. Like my job, as a social media on social media, like I always try to tell the moms that follow me, like, don't compare your life to mine because it's different. Like I can maybe make more time to work out because I work from home all day. So I can say, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to go quickly go work out for 20 minutes, and it's not that easy for everyone. So don't compare yourself to others. We're all just doing the best we can. Um, balance doesn't exist.
It's something that I actually have incorporated, is getting my kids involved, right? Like with the things that I'm doing, because I am a parenting journalist and I'm
Yeah,
fortunate enough to like have them at work events and do things like that. And I know that, sharing your passions with your kids is something that, you talk about. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How you're bringing your kids kind of into the mix of like the things you're already doing?
for sure. Um, One, I mean, all the little silly things on social, like you can do little dances with your kids and they like to get involved. Like my kids love doing that. But if, that's not your thing or you don't want to do that, I think you can do little things like with dinner, get your kids involved in cooking with you. My son, like he has like a Montessori background, but kids in general, like they just love like doing things on their own. They want to be in control. Toddlers want to be in control. Young kids, they have no control in their life. So they just want some control. So I find by letting my son, like when I make the Mrs. T's pierogies bowl, I like get him involved. I'm like, hey, do you want to take this butter knife and chop up the avocado for me? And not only does that allow us to spend quality time together, it saves time on dinner, have quality time together, and it encourages him to try new food. So I think getting kids involved in dinner is a great way. Also, another thing we do in our house is we have painting nights, or just like we paint all the time. Like if you go in my kids' playroom or even their bedrooms, the walls are covered in canvases with their artwork. Like we don't even have paint or wallpaper, it's just canvases of all their art. One, they feel prideful in that like their art is how we decorate our home. And two, it's just like I like to paint too. So we'll have family painting nights where we'll all get together and paint. Like the other day we did the like paint your spouse challenge. And so I painted my husband painted me, and then my kids painted each other. And it was so much fun. So I think doing things like that, it's a great way to bond and get that time in.
I love that too, because I know we do tend to get really caught up, right? And I think part of this challenge too is like really bringing the fun back to things that you can all do together. So I'm going to definitely incorporate that into my own family, my own lifestyle. But
Well,
also, Mother's Day is yeah, go
Well,
ahead, go ahead.
well, no, I was just gonna say, like, I love that you said that because too, one thing I love about the GoFundMe challenge is that it's not just about, yes, you can win $1,000 for 12 months. It would be amazing. Who doesn't want an extra 12 grand, right? Like go opt in for that reason alone. But the thing that makes it special too is sometimes just making a commitment to something, like going and filling out the form saying, I'm committed to like making more quality time for my family. Sometimes doing a simple act like that triggers something in your brain that actually makes you do it. So really the point of this is just hoping that families do make that conscious effort to like make dinner time more easy, spend more time together and hopefully win $1,000 a month in the process.
Of course. I think there's something to be said for kind of simplifying it, right? Like getting back to basics. But I
Yeah.
was gonna say Mother's Day is coming up. I
Yeah.
always find Mother's Day like what do I really want? I don't know. Time away, time for myself, but also I don't know. So it's this kind of weird thing. And I think we've also seen on social media like moms like kind of like reacting to like Mother's Day. What does your household look like and what are you maybe hoping to receive?
I am so fortunate in the sense that I have a husband who I wouldn't even say is 50-50. He like does even more of the parenting like on a daily basis than me. And I know that's not the case in every household because everyone's different. Sometimes the mom works more, the dad works more, whatever it may be. But because my husband is so active, like I don't necessarily feel like I need Mother's Day to be away from my kids. Like, and my kids are young too, right? Like my daughter, she has this calendar that her Mimi made her. And uh like 4 weeks ago, like 6 weeks before Mother's Day, she had a little note in her calendar, start Mother's Day prep. Like she is like, it's a big deal to them. And like, so for me being with them and like they do all like my daughter will like make me, she loves art. So she'll paint me pictures and she'll wrap them and they have all these like homemade gifts for me. It just like, it's such a big deal to them and it's so special to me. So I am one of those people that just wants to be with my kids. I want to sleep in. I want to maybe
Yeah.
like watch a movie in bed with my kids. I don't want to like do anything crazy. But I do like, I just want the time, but, oh, sorry, that's my coffee machine cleaning itself for a second. Um, but yeah, but I totally respect and get the moms who are in the thick of it every day that are like, I just want to go to the spa or I just want to like read by myself for 4 hours. Like I totally get that too.
Yeah, and actually my final question is like, when our kids are doing stuff for us and our spouses are so
Mhm.
hands-on, I think
Mhm.
moms have a tendency to like kind of default to guilt or something like that. Do you ever, I know you mentioned before when you're kind of balancing everything, there's definitely some guilt that comes into play. But are you good at receiving that stuff like when your kids are prepping 6 weeks in advance for Mother's Day and then, balancing like the guilt with the love that they're giving you? Sometimes it could be overwhelming.
For me, I know because of the fact that I work from home, my kids see me so much more than like a parent who has to commute an hour to work and then commute an hour back. So I feel like my kids are like super well taken care of and loved by both parents. But with the guilt that you're talking about, it's so funny. I usually don't feel the guilt until people online tell me I should.
No.
You know what I mean? So like I'm like, okay, like my husband and I have like non-traditional, non-stereotypical roles in a marriage, right? Like I do more of the like traditional like male like finances and I make more than my husband and I, like all those things. Whereas so because I'm busier than my husband with work, he takes on more of the parenting. And it's so funny because people will say things to me like, oh, your husband like does everything and you don't do anything. And I'm just like, you one would never say this to me if I was a man. You know what I mean? Never. You would, if anything, be like, oh my gosh, look how involved, Ali is with her children if I was a man. But because like we put so much pressure on women, and it's not everybody. Most of the people online are amazing, just like me, like woohoo, like go out there, do your thing. But there are just those people that love to like say that. And that does get to me sometimes. But at the end of the day, I know my kids are loved and cared for and amazing. And they're seeing a strong woman go out there and work hard and have a company and do all these things. And I hope it inspires them to do the same things when they're older. And, that's all I can hope for.
I'm sure it will because actually you're really inspiring to me because my husband just stopped working. He was in a police officer and he retired before he
Yeah.
turned 40 and now I'm sort of like going out as the breadwinner and he's home with the kids. And we've gotten some weird responses to that, but I'm loving that you said that and I'm going to take that as my sort of like piece of
Yeah.
like inspiration. So thank you so
You
much.
go, girl. You got this. Yes, you go. And then you say, like, when you need your time and you do your things and don't let anybody make you feel anything, then what you're doing is awesome. Cause I mean, that's how I feel. I'm super proud of what I've built and I'm proud of the mom that I am. So I'm trying to ignore anybody who says otherwise.
I love it. Thank you so much for the time. This was so great. So
Yes.
tell us really quick again, where can people go to check out the
Okay, yeah.
challenge?
People can go, it's mrstspierogies.com/go-fun-me. Yeah, and just go. It's so simple. It's just put in your information and you commit to spending more time with your family, and you're entered to win $1,000 a month for 12 months. I mean, couldn't be
No
simple,
brainer.
right? No brainer.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, I was joking. I'm like, gosh, imagine having a job or like getting paid to eat potatoes, cheese, and pasta. And it's like, that's what Mrs. T's pierogies are. They're delicious. And potentially you could get paid just by going to their site and opting into the GoFundMe challenge. So no, it's a no-brainer. Just do it.
All right. Thank you so much, Ali. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
So nice to meet you.